People, deluded. Now, if I haven't already caught up with you, first and foremost, Merry Christmas to all my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you, whether you subscribe or you view, or however long or short you know, taking my vids. It's appreciated. I hope you've had a good Christmas by now, or when it comes, I hope you have a good period. I hope you have a good new year, and I hope you really enjoy it, man, because this is a time of year, whether you're supporting Christmas or not, just be close to your family and, you know, just do things like that. There's very few things for me important than football. Family is one of them. It sucks, but not everybody will be here. There'll be a day when you'll lose loved ones. There'll be a day when your loved ones lose you, so make it count, really and truly. Obviously, on Boxing Day, it's Bournemouth versus Arsenal. I was at the game at the Emirates, and I would say it kind of signalled the poor form we're in, because I say that at that time, because I remember Robbie, got to do dirty Robbie, on the AFTV interview, I was like on that, we were poor today, we're just lucky Bournemouth didn't take their chances and they were worse than us. And he said, hold on, the quality of chances and blah, blah, blah. And I said, that's true. But the difference is when it rains, it pours. And then you saw with our poor form, when we weren't winning and we was losing games, people would only want to speak about this sort of stuff. Now, Bournemouth are in woeful form like us. We're 10th, they're like 13th, 14th, I don't know, admittedly. I do think, depending on goal difference, they can draw level with us. If they beat us at their place, I think we've both won 5 games this season. I think they've suffered 9 defeats. Similar to us, they're having a terrible season. And definitely since I've seen Eddie Howe in the Premier League, it does look like this is the season where there's a good chance he might leave. There's the most question marks over him. There's the most question marks. It's like you see, football works in cycles. Can he take them any further? Can he reinvent them? How much can players improve hearing the same voice year on year end? I think that about Sean Dyche at Burnley to a degree. You obviously saw Pochettino have to leave Spurs, and there's been many examples of that. But regardless, if I'm Bournemouth, this is a game where you turn it around, because you've been in woeful form. I think they've got 1 win in their last 8. God knows, you'd probably have to go back to September, the last time they claimed back-to-back wins. Confidence just hasn't been there with the team. But again, when you play teams like Arsenal, especially with our away form, you probably should sit there and say to your teammates in that dressing room, or if you're Eddie Howe, first and foremost, let's be clear of the mind. Second of all, our season starts now. If you can rally up your troops against Arsenal, you have half a chance. So be prepared for a dogfight. Be prepared for a rocking stadium. It's going to be Boxing Day. Everybody's got it off more or less. The stadium's going to be rocking. Their form doesn't suggest it, but when I think of Bournemouth, I think of attacking play. I think of, you know, they've got King, they've got Wilson, they've got players that can harm you, people. I think of Lerma fouling all the time and getting yellows. So they should have confidence, and we will speak on the tactics, but Callum Chambers, probably our best centre-half at the moment, is, through getting a yellow card, is suspended. So away from home, if your both teams are in poor form and they're going to come away and they're going to have a new manager and they're coming to your place, obviously with Saka's done well at fullback, but an 18-year-old, not natural left-back. Maitland-Niles did well last game. He's not a right-back. Centre-half options are terrible. On top of Arsenal's form, on top of the away form, you're going to relish that. And you're going to say to your attackers, I know you've been in poor form, but your season starts now. Go and have a goal. You're stronger than Socrates. You can barge him up. You can skill him up. You can score against Leno. These are the sort of things you got. If I'm Bournemouth, I'm gassing my players and making them move gas. So we've got to be wary of that. From an Arsenal perspective, of course, with Arteta, listen, the players are still going to a degree, be low on confidence. A lot of the mental wounds, as much as tactical issues, are still going to be there and take a while for Arteta to eradicate out of the team long term. But what I want to see is that at least they've got points to prove now. That first 11, or again, he's probably made up his mind who he's using and whatnot, but there's places to play for. Them 11 that he selects, don't get gas, because you might lose that spot. So go out there and show to Arteta, yo, you can rely on me. Do you get it? So I'm hoping players are playing with a point to prove. I'm hoping, unlike last week, which is no fault of Lundberg, he's promoting players to take risks, because maybe it was a bit of low form, maybe it was the new manager, maybe it was the fear of losing. We did okay defensively, but players were scared to lose the ball and were making the safe options. And I do think the draw against Everton, while it was atrocious and poor, and generally it was a poor performance from Arsenal, when you pity that against our last recent games, it was one of our best and it was a decent game. So I want to see us free of the mind. I want to see, again, I'm not promoting doing dumb stuff and making mistakes, but I want to see the centre-halves, whether they've got it in the locker or not. Try and hit a long pass to Arteta, to Aubameyang. Try and find these wingers. Midfielders, be brave on the ball. Make sure there's proper movement. I should have mentioned this, but there's a lack of movement in the team. This was meant for the tactical business, but there's a lack of movement for the man in possession, even the centre-halves. When the centre-halves got the ball and they bring it out from the back, and I haven't got 11 people here, 11, what was I saying? I haven't got 11 blue things because I didn't anticipate using this, but let's just pretend this is a 4-4-2. When you've got teams that come and press us like this, yeah, just on top of being poor on the ball anyways, there's no options. Bellerin might get it, there's no options. Centre half, no options. Midfielders, 9 times out of 10, because we're pinned in, there's no there's no options. So then there's a lack of, so then these lot are dry and wingers are having to drop deep. Do you get it? Aubameyang's fighting with Bearman. He's never going to win it. There is a lack of bravery on the ball, but there is also a lack of movement, and it's a bit of both. It's because we have no intent on the ball of what we want to do, and because players are a bit scared, and just in general, there's no movement. And a lot of this will only, Arteta can talk as much as he wants and coach, and that's a big part of it. But the players have got to wake up themselves and be a bit braver. You're all playing for your shirts again. We know Aubameyang and Leno, everyone's playing for the shirts, but they're in the team, let's be honest. Everyone's playing for their shirt, so I want to see that, man. I want to see, with it being a new manager, go out there and impress people, man. Go out there and try and impress Arteta. Just go out there and remember why you played football. Play with the clarity of mind. It's a game of football. I don't see too many of these players. First and foremost, forget all the money and the fame and the Premier League. Remember why you started playing this game. Remember you as a kid in whatever country you were, whatever league, why you played this game. Take that same joy that it gave you. Now, imagine somebody said, you're never going to get to play football after this 90 minutes again. Go out there and play like that. If you played like that, we wouldn't play scared. We would make sure we run more and whatnot. All the tactical stuff we need to improve and technical stuff, that's all right. But mentally, these players are the only ones that can pull it out themselves, people. We can talk to their blue in the face. We can get the best psychiatric people and, all the people that help sportsmen psychologically. But it's not going to work unless these players pull it out themselves. Do you get it? Obviously, to be honest, I've written the season off. For me, just give the young players experience just because they're the only ones that are going to replicate it. But I'd love to be proved wrong from these experienced players. Obviously, our task is a bit tough because, like I've said, Chambers is suspended. Apparently, Bellerin is in contention. Whether he'll be fit is another thing. Ceballos isn't going to be there. Kolasinac isn't going to be there. Obviously, there's a couple of others. Ozil is back from his injury / sort of being left out the team for obviously his little hissy fit in one of the games. But listen, I'm hoping for a win. I'm hoping for a confident performance. It's Boxing Day. I don't want the festive period to be poor. Obviously, top 4 for me is gone, so there's nothing to play for, but some sort of insurance in terms of winning 3 points against Bournemouth away from home would go a long way, really and truly, because we've got United and Chelsea in our next 2 games, people, which is a 6-pointers in the sense that it's three points each, but it's a 12-pointer to get it. So we've got to take full points, really and truly. And obviously, I'm hoping for a clean sheet, but I'm just hoping for 3 points. There is some confidence from the Everton game to take. Like, if it was just Arsenal in general and you look at that game, we were atrocious. We barely shot. We were toothless. But in terms of how we've been playing recently, that's one of our best performances. And that's our first clean sheet in 15. So while I'm snatching at straws, whatever it is, there is some confidence to take or some positives to take. I think our confidence, rightly so, should be shot on the floor, but there's something to take. There's both teams to relish it. And also Bournemouth have been poor themselves. This should be a perfect game for Arsenal to be a bit brave, because they like to play football as well. Get the ball down, play some football. No disrespect to them, but especially their defenders, excluding Ake, probably championship at best. Mapan, Cook, Francis, they've all got mistakes in them similar to us. So both teams will probably score. There's confidence in both teams. For me, I want to see us be aggressive, press high, just get back to playing, looking like a team that looks like they're professional footballers and they're paid to be in this privileged position, just simply by enjoying it. If you enjoy what you're doing in training and the games, you're gonna play better. On top of what we need to do. 3 points will go a long way. A clean sheet will go a long way. But at this moment in time, it's I'm looking beyond that. I'm just seeing. For me, I'm just looking to May. I really want to see what Arteta is implementing into this team in terms of philosophy. Which players can be relied upon? Which players can F off? Which players are just not good enough for this team beyond what we know already? Really and truly, to be honest with you. On that note, the only thing left, I guess, is the formation. Leno picks himself in goal for obvious reasons. Left back, Saka's going to have to do a job there again for me, because he's done well there. I know he doesn't want to do it, but he's a very intelligent young man, and he's done quite well against them. And he done well against what I'd say is going to be a physically harder team. It was a physically harder side in Everton than Bournemouth. And I just think he's a very intelligent young man, so he's able to do it. And I know he doesn't want to play there, but he's got to do something for the greater good of the cause. Obviously, if Bellerin's fit, there is the option to move Maitland-Niles out there and free up Saka to play in his actual role. But for me, I'm going to go with Saka as a left back or left wing back, whatever you want to say. If Bellerin's fit, then Bellerin plays at right back, but it's probably touch and go. So I'm just going to go with Maitland-Niles, who, to be fair, deserves to keep his spot based on the Everton game. So Maitland-Niles and Saka at full back. Centre half, Callum Chambers would be there, but he is suspended. So I guess by default, you have to pick Socrates and David Luiz and just hope for the best. So that's my back five, including Leno. In midfield, it's a tough one. Torreira. Probably Torreira, Xhaka, and I'll go with Emil Smith-Rowe again, you know, because, do you know what, there's a case to play Ozil. In fact, Ozil will be the first one, but I'm at the point now, you might as well give the Sakas, the Amici's not here, the Sakas, the Martinellis, all these, man, just give them the experience, because they're the only players that I seem to be replicating what they're on, really. There's a case to probably just give Joe some minutes. There's a case, because I want us to be aggressive and play football, I guess there's a case to start Ozil, and really and truly, Emil Smith-Rowe didn't have the best of games. It was a good learning education for him. He played like a player that's made his first Premier League start, which you can't begrudge him for. There's the case to give him more time. So, do you know what? I'm going to go with... No, do you know what? I'm going to go with Torreira and Xhaka, because Xhaka's been alright in his... I think since Xhaka's been back, I can't remember the game, but I said in a rating, there's only been, out of the 4 or 5 he's played, there's only been one poor game. We know Xhaka's problems and whatnot, and my bias is actually to leave Xhaka out, but I feel Xhaka and Torreira should get the nod. Emil, I would start him again to get education and whatnot, people, but I'm starting to lean towards more Ozil as I'm saying this, so I'm going to use Ozil. It's actually a slash, no problem with Emil. Probably just bring Ozil back into the side. So either or. Up front, they pick themselves really and truly. I'm going with Martinelli, Aubameyang. And to be honest, I would play Pepe. I know he didn't start ahead of Nelson, but I would play Pepe. Harsh on Lacazette. He's not getting any look-ins at the moment. But no one, apart from really Leno and Aubameyang, deserve to be undisputed names in the first 11. Apologies for the wind, people. I'll probably lean towards more Emil Smith-Rowe, but it's literally a slash. I'm happy with either him or Ozil. For Emil, it would be a good chance to get some experience. Obviously, Ozil, for all his problems, if we're going to play in an attacking sense, he's probably the most creative midfielder in the team, as much as he needs to be moved on and whatnot. But listen, Arsenal at the point where I don't expect anything from them. I'm just looking to the young players to get encouragement by. To be fair with you, at least they put in a shift. On that note, I've got nothing more to say, so I'm going to get out of here. People, DG, God bless.